Dear listener, people are making apocalypse jokes like there's no tomorrow. I guess humor is much needed in a zombie apocalypse. Nobody really knows how it all started. Some say it was caused by the T virus or perhaps a cordyceps brain infection. Others say we are all infected and already have it within us. Some don't really know, but presume it can all be cured with love. However this may all turn out, what we do know is that we want Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, and Nick Offerman on our side. Especially Nick Offerman. Stay safe out there. Sincerely, the Shrinking Violets.
Hi, this is April,
And this is Lourdes.
and we're the Shrinking Violet.
And this is chapter 27, titled Zombies and Such, because we are going to be talking about zombies and such. Specifically, the show that we just finished watching, which is The Last of Us, and other zombie shows and movies that we watched.
All right, so we have a list of questions,
Questions.
and I guess we can talk about, well, first of all, The Last of Us. We have a brief synopsis.
Yes.
Basically, it's just what it says on HBO, and it says, after a global pandemic destroys civilization, a hardened survivor takes charge of a 14-year-old girl who may be humanity's last hope. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey star as Joel and Ellie. And that's about it. That's all they provide. So I guess this is more of the non-spoiler kind of questions. The first one being, what are your overall thoughts on the zombie genre? So that includes books, film, and TV.
So I don't shy away from the zombie genre. I actually enjoy it if there is comedy involved, but also I'm fine with the serious stuff like The Last of Us or The Walking Dead. But I really enjoy it if there's comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm cool with it too. Sometimes it can get like repetitive in the manner that it's told, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's why I like when shows or whatever I'm, consuming, whatever media, that it's different in one way or another, because that makes it a little bit more interesting for me.
Yeah. Exactly.
The second one is, what are other zombie movies or shows that you have watched?
Okay, so I have a whole list, so you can
list?
chime in
Okay.
to tell me if you've seen if you watched them as well.
Yeah,
So,
we'll do it that way.
okay, the first one is Zombieland 1 and Zombieland 2.
Okay. I've only seen like parts of Zombieland 1.
Okay. You haven't seen the whole thing? Why? How?
I don't know.
What?
I know.
Well, I think that is a funny aspect I'm looking for. Zombieland is hilarious and it has hilarious people. And the first one has what's his name? What is his name from Ghostbusters?
Oh, that guy.
It has him, but the
Yes.
second one has Keanu Reeves.
Weird.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. World War Z. Have you seen that one?
No, because of the sheer like mass of like amount of
Yes.
zombies there are. It
Yes.
freaks me out.
I didn't really care for it, and to be honest, if I think about it, I don't even remember what happened. So it's a meh. It's meh. I watched part of The Walking Dead. I did not watch like the whole thing or the spin-off. Or I probably watched like one episode of the spin-off.
Oh yeah. I
But
think
just
like
part of it.
yeah, I watched a good amount of the spin-off, but then I forgot about it.
Ah.
And then Walking Dead, I think I just was over it at some point.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It just
I
keeps
got pretty
going.
far. I got pretty far.
Yeah.
I did really like it at the beginning, so it's a shame that I just
Yeah.
there at the end.
You just have to really, with that kind of show, because how many seasons does it have? Like a billion.
Yeah.
You just have to really be persistent and like just keep watching it. I watched like maybe 2 episodes of this show on the CW called Zombie, and that one is about, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's about a girl who's a doctor, I think, but she's also a zombie. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Also, okay, this one's kind of funny. because I do kind of think it's a zombie show. Game of Thrones,
Oh, okay, okay.
right? It's a
The
zombie
Walkers?
show.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of, but yeah. Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Yes, that one's a hilarious one.
Yeah, I love that one.
Warm Bodies.
Yeah, you were talking about that one.
Yes.
I have not watched Warm Bodies.
You need to
Did you read the book?
No, I did not. I just watched the
Okay.
movie. It's not like a zombie movie where like zombies, I'm so scared. They're so creepy. It's because the end will literally warm your heart.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. This is the end. I feel like I've talked about this movie before.
Oh,
It's-
yeah, the comedy.
Yeah, it's more of an apocalypse movie, but there are zombies in it, and it's
Yeah.
it's just so wild. It's so wild. That's a movie with I already forgot his name.
It's like all those characters, those funny characters.
From like
Seth Rogen.
yeah, Seth Rogen and Friends.
Franco. Yeah. Yeah.
This one's really stupid, but the Disney original movie Zombies.
Oh my goodness, no.
I will count that one.
Okay.
I watched till the third movie. There's 3 movies. Okay. Have you heard of a movie called Life with Beth?
No.
No, it is a movie with Aubrey Plaza,
Oh, that one.
and she's a zombie,
Yeah.
and it has
Uh-huh.
Dane DeHaan, and
Mhm.
it is such a weird indie zombie movie. It's so weird, but
Okay.
I don't know why I liked it. This one's really stupid. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I
You watched
regretted watching it in the movies.
No, no.
It was so bad.
Did you ever
Okay.
try reading the book?
No,
I think I tried, and
Yeah.
I was just like, what?
it was so dumb. Okay, Paranorman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Watch that.
yeah. And then the last one episode of Daybreak on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
That show looks really cool. I watched 1 episode and I just forgot all about it, stopped watching it, so I might want to try to finish it. Who knows? We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it.
I guess the ones that I've watched are 28 Days Later, and then I've watched Resident Evil,
Mhm.
and then I believe like a long time ago, and just like I don't even remember anything, Dawn of the Dead.
I've never seen Shaun of the Dead, but I've seen
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead.
So those are the ones that I can think of.
that are different.
Yeah, I think so.
I did want to mention that I've only ever really read two zombie one that's a series and one that's like a weird book. The series is Forest of Hands and Teeth, which is a 3-book series, and that's probably the first zombie books I've ever read. And it was supposed to be adapted, and the main character was going to be Macy Williams.
Oh.
But I guess it never happened.
Yeah.
And then the other one it's called Zombies versus Unicorns, and like every other chapter is a zombie book and every other chapter is a unicorn book. So yeah. Short stories basically, but yeah, that's honorable mention zombie media.
Okay. So how do you think that The Last of Us holds up against all these other that we just talked about?
Yeah.
So for example, like you can talk about the plots, the characters, even the production value.
So I think that this show is basically more character driven. We get more of the characters and what they want, what they're doing,
What they're going through.
Not as much zombie killing. But I do definitely think it will be remembered with all the zombie stuff.
Yeah, I think that there's enough at least to consider it obviously as like a zombie show. And also the fact that I think they present it in a new way, which is instead of like this virus that was either created in a lab or just broke out, it's more has to do with like the cordyceps, so the mushrooms and stuff. And I didn't know, I've never even thought about like, mushrooms
Yeah.
causing some sort of outbreak.
Yeah, I do appreciate the new approach because it's always either some
Like an
weird
animal.
paranormal thing that
Yeah.
zombies are just rising out of their graves, or yeah, some weird
It's
the
like
other
an
version?
airborne
Yeah,
thing, or yeah, something like that.
something gets bitten, and now if everyone gets bitten, yeah.
And so I like that. Obviously, it's HBO, so it's gonna look like pretty high quality.
Yeah.
I agree that it is very like character driven. But yeah, I compared to these other ones, I think the quality is very, you can tell that they put a lot of effort into it, at least
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah, I agree.
The next question is, so like neither of us have actually played the game. I mean, I think we knew about it and we've seen something about the game.
Yeah.
But do you think that that affected the way that we watched the show?
I don't think it affected because it's not something that has so many details that, like, say, if you didn't read the book, you'd be lost, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I did watch it with a person who did play the game. So my brother was constantly telling me like, "Oh, that happened," or "Oh, that didn't happen," or
Yeah.
"This is happening because of that," and that's actually called this. Like, I don't think they properly in the show properly mentioned the names of the different zombies. They just kind of
Yeah.
were there and they just mentioned them, but didn't really explain.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, like I think just because I am who I am, when I after like watching each episode, I would uh kind of read reviews or watch comparison videos
Yeah.
to try to see like how does that match with the gameplay.
Ah.
And then yeah, like you said, like the I guess most of the zombie ones are like clickers, and then the ones that's like huge are like bloaters.
Well, I don't even like that name.
Yeah. And then there's like, I know that they were supposed to, like, people can get infected by the things that are in the air, right? Like,
Oh, I think so.
the spores or something like that.
Yeah.
Like breathing them in. And that's something that I read about where that wasn't really doable in the show because then they'd be wearing like masks all the
All
time.
the time. Yeah.
So there's just like things that they had to change
Interesting.
in order for it to like look fine on the screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I guess there's other things that those that played the game maybe have a kind of a deeper connection maybe to the characters, I would think, because they are those characters.
Yeah.
So
when you're
I
playing.
think at some point, you're playing as Ellie and then you can be playing as Joel, so like you can get into their emotions, I feel.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah, but other than that, I think it's fine if you've never played it. And it's fine if you don't do your other like homework, to try to understand more of it.
Yeah.
But I do think that it kind of helps if you are interested in that.
Yeah.
I guess now it's spoiler stuff, and we can talk about what our favorite episode was and why.
Yes. So one of my favorite episodes was when they found Joel's brother, and they got to see the quote unquote, well, I guess it is the communist community.
Yeah.
And it just felt like there was hope in this apocalyptic world, and
Yeah.
like I just kept telling my brother and my sister like, why can't we just stay here? Let's just stay here. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that I was like, it's kind of like a sense of relief, like
Yeah.
looking at everything that they have, and it looks so normal.
Yes.
Obviously not the way that we currently live, at least like us do, but more possibly like those that are homesteaders, or those are that live that kind of life.
Yeah.
But I also just wanted them to stay. I'm like, you can just
Yes.
stay there and be happy.
Yes. And I just wanted to mention how much of a stark contrast it was to the last community that we encountered, the very religious community. That was frightening.
Yeah. But then also when I thought about Joel he's been trying to find his brother, and his brother's been pretty much living a better life than he has.
Yeah.
It kind of is upsetting in a way,
Yeah.
like, oh, like not jealousy, but in a kind of like, oh, you guys have it good here. Like you're not one to talk, you know?
Yeah. I guess it did make me mad that like all of a sudden he couldn't he had no contact with his brother, so he was
Mm.
trying to find his brother because he thinks that something happened to him. So basically, like, why didn't the brother try harder to get Joel
Yeah,
here? Like, why?
yeah, that's the part that is
Yeah.
upsetting.
Yeah.
My favorite one is episode 3, and that's where we see what were those two, their names? I forget.
Oh, I forgot their names, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, let me quickly look it up. That's Bill is Nick Offerman, and then Frank.
Frank.
Yes. So yeah, so theirs is, I think, as it can like stand alone as its own, I don't know, like short movie.
Story. Yeah.
Yeah,
In the world.
in the world. And then just the idea of basically falling in love with in a weird time.
Yeah.
But like I think he was able, obviously it seems like he was closeted, right? So
Hmm.
it feels like in this allowed him to find something that he might have not ever found
Yeah.
in if it this hadn't happened. Which I don't know, it just seems so like kind of poetic in a way,
Yeah.
like it's like which one would have been better, this
Yeah.
not happening or this like you finally and you get to die along with the love of your life. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. If anything, they
Think
had it
about it.
better than many of the people out
Many
there.
of them. Yeah.
And to think that we say that, yet they still died, and we say they had it better. It's so
Yeah, they had
freaking
it better.
sad.
I'd rather have died the way that
They
they
died.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
died. Um,
Also, we can mention how similar their situation was to, not like super similar, but to us during the pandemic, how we had to stay at home and
mhm.
just be with ourselves. That
Yeah.
like they were there. They were there for years.
Yeah. And then they're obviously like there's parts of them where they would get mad at each other, they would get frustrated, but in the
Mhm.
end they still loved each other.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, you can tell it wasn't just because, oh, like they have no other choice. They actually did, but they started to have those kind of normal, um, try to have some sort of normalcy. And I like the way, Frank wanted to like renovate the certain houses, and they created their own little shops.
Yeah.
Um, like I guess there was like a clothing store or a flower shop or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, because they just creating their own little world
Yeah.
to try to make it seem normal. And I just thought everything was just so like cute. I don't know.
Yeah. Which and then if you think about it, it makes me sad that they could have just like traveled
Hmm.
to the brothers' little place. They could
Yeah,
have lived a happier lives.
the happier life.
Oh
Yeah.
well.
But yeah, I was like, man, I would have liked to live there.
Yeah.
It looks so safe.
Yeah.
Like
It's very
with,
safe.
with Nick Offerman.
Oh yeah, I definitely want. If I were in a zombie apocalypse, I'm gonna go find Nick Offerman.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about the finale? Did Joel make the right choice?
So, I was hoping that when we got to the people that were going to make the antidote, I was hoping that oh, everything's gonna be great,
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
obviously that's stupid because they were thinking of killing Ellie so that to get the antidote, which actually makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense to put that in the story. But as for Joel lying to Ellie about what happened back there, it bothered me because in any story, when someone lies, it always comes back to them and ruins everything when the lie is found out. So I'm scared.
Yeah, I also am like scared about what's gonna happen because obviously I don't know, there's this now trust that maybe will be broken.
Yeah.
Um, but I also feel that she has an idea that he's lying to
Yeah,
her,
definitely.
and she just doesn't want to hear it, and wants to believe
What Joel
what
was
he
telling her.
was, is telling her.
Yeah.
I personally think that in so yes, she would be saving the humanity or whatever. But
Yeah.
also, is there an 100%
Yes.
chance that she would?
That is the
Because
argument. Like how they're doing this one thing on like for the first time because she's the only person with a. Oh wait, is she? Actually, I don't know that part.
that's as far as I know, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Is it guaranteed that they're
Yeah.
gonna save everyone?
Yeah. Is it a
Ugh.
guarantee? I don't know if I'm willing to
Yeah.
lose someone that I care about if it's not guaranteed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even then, I, that just is a
It's
hard
so
choice
dark.
to
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
And also I know that what is it, Marlene? She was the one, I think that's her name. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Um, she was the one saying like, oh, if she had the choice, she would say yes. But it's like you never offered her the choice. You never
Yeah.
explained what was going on.
Yeah.
You were just gonna say, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna do this to you. But then all of a sudden trying to cut her up, and
Yeah.
she has no idea that she's gonna die.
Ah. So scary.
So, in my opinion, he made the right choice for himself
Yeah.
and for her.
Yes.
Is it good to lie to her? No. But also, I don't know, it's just a weird
I don't know either.
situation.
In the end, I mean, is she really gonna be so mad that he saved her life? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. So what do you think? Oh, so I think now it's the just reflecting on just this world.
Mhm.
How do you think that you'd hold up in a zombie apocalypse?
Okay, so I've thought about this, and I think that I would be smart enough to keep a low profile and try to survive, but not strong enough to actually do any of the fighting.
Yeah, not strong enough to do that. I mean, who knows when it comes down to it, but
Adrenaline.
yeah, or like using weapons at least, like
Yeah.
um, but definitely, I think I'm not somebody who's necessarily like gullible.
Uh-huh.
I think I put up a guard a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
anyway. So it would take me a long time to kind of trust anybody,
Yeah.
and not trusting people might actually be a bad thing in the end. Because if
Uh,
I were to lose everybody, then I
yeah.
would just be on my own, and I know I wouldn't be able to make it on my own,
Dude, that's it sounds so hard.
right?
If you don't already go in it with people you trust, dang,
Yeah.
that sounds hard.
Yeah, that's difficult. So what do you think that you'd miss the most if you were in this situation?
The daily conveniences like water, food, shelter, if I don't have shelter, because none of those are guaranteed in an apocalypse.
Yeah.
So I really would miss literally water and probably like, every time we watch this show, I'm like, when's the last time they took a shower? That sucks.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think the being able to have like a proper sleep,
Oh
that's
yeah.
because I'd just be terrified that in my sleep somebody will come to kill me. Either it's
Yes.
a zombie or it's an actual person.
Yeah.
But I thought about it a little bit more, and I thought that communication,
Yeah.
it's something that I think we take for granted. Like
Yeah.
I could literally talk to anyone that I could like wanted to, that I obviously know and have contact information on.
Yeah.
Just now, like I can send a hello to whoever I want.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, I think we
Take that for
take that for
granted.
granted, and
Definitely.
we don't communicate with people that that are
Yeah.
important to our lives.
Yeah. That was so
Yeah, so that I think I would miss. And then so Ellie carries around this book of puns that I think personally is kind of important to the show. It kind of shows her playfulness, um, i- that in the end she is a kid, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and it also is it's kind of like a comedic relief,
Yeah.
with all of the things that they go through. So what kind of like book or what would you take with you, if you were in that situation?
Okay, so my first answer, because I might have changed it, my first answer would be a Cassandra Clare book because they fight demons in the books and I might be able to get some pointers. Or, but like, or would I try to take a very informative book on how to survive?
Yeah.
One of
Survival
those.
skills.
Yeah.
I think I would like to, if I were to find something, I would have loved to find like a collection of short stories,
Yeah.
just to try to get away. I mean, that's why we read anyway, right?
Yeah.
Just to some form of escapism.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what I would value. But I don't have a book like that in mind. I've never read just a collection of short stories that I'm like, this is the most wonderful thing ever.
Chicken soup for
Yeah.
the
Chicken soup for the apocalypse.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I wonder if it exists.
All right. So our last question is, what would you like to see in the next season, or do you already know what's gonna happen?
So I don't know what's gonna happen, and I could probably just ask my brother, but I'd rather not. But I have a feeling. What did I write? I have a feeling someone's going to die, or I truly hope that shit's like this whole shit is going to be solved in some way. But from all the zombie stuff I've seen, the situation isn't really solved. It's mostly just lessened. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's hard for me to answer this question because I know what happens
you know what happens. Ah!
in the yeah, in the games. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of hard for me to say that. I just
Okay.
hope that in the end people are happy.
Oh my god. Ah. We'll come back to this when we get a second season or when we get to the end.
Yeah, and I also hope that we get to maybe meet like new characters that, like, the characters that we have met. I've liked them, so
Yeah.
I would like to continue meeting new people.
Yeah. Indeed.
And I guess that's it.
That's it.
That was Zombies and Such.
That was Zombies and Such. We literally have a minute left. We are amazing.
Alrighty. See ya, everybody.
See ya.
Don't
Bye.
get bit. Bye.
Yes. Especially don't get bit. Yes.
Alrighty. I'm gonna